What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I was sneaking a sip of water before I got started. It's Friday. Listen, all hell goes to all the crazy stuff going on in the world. We got to have some fun. I've got a few brief news articles that I want to go over that I feel are pretty important, and we'll just go ahead and jump right to it. ADA consolidates as Hoskins and envisions multiple major blockchains like Solana becoming a sidechain to Cardano. And this isn't a tongue-in-cheek thing. This is here's the one thing that I've noticed about Charles. He loves to try and invite other projects to work with Cardano. He's like, listen, I just saw him do an AMA. Well, it wasn't even an AMA. It was basically a brief comment where he basically said, listen, anytime I bring up XRP and I try to show support and I try to give my opinion on what I realistically think is happening, you guys shit all over me. And he's like, I've had enough. This is insanity. And quite honestly, I understand. What he doesn't realize about YouTube is, he does all these AMAs and he loves to share his opinions and things, which is great. And, as a leader of a major blockchain project, the reality is that he doesn't really need to be doing that. Like, if anything, I feel like he should be leaving it up to to other YouTubers to question him and to interview him and things. But, he does it himself. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool. The problem, though, is the more frequently you go and do that kind of thing on your own, the more people want to attack you and the more personal you seem to take it. And I know what it's like because that's the point to that is the bigger you get and the more subscribers and the more everything, it just grows. Like, everybody has haters. There are always people that have their opinion. There's always tribalism. There's always somebody who doesn't understand what you said, so they just attack it anyway. You can't please everyone. I think him basically saying, I'm going to take my ball and go home is kind of silly, if I'm honest. But, he looks at it like, I'm not here to create drama. I'm not here to spread rumors or bad news. I'm just sharing what I think. And I think he gets really frustrated when people kind of turn it on him and use it against him. And he's just not used to that, is my opinion. I mean, he might watch this and be like, well, F you, Crow. I don't know, but that's just what I see. But the reality is I think he tries to do really well by everyone. And I think he tries to be involved and he tries to show his support and he tries to give opportunities to some people. But that's that. I think all of that should be taken with a grain of salt. I don't think he should quote unquote censor his own opinions because a few people in a community want to come down on him. They're not his people, right? So the people that are among his Cardano community do care about his impressions of things. We do care about his thoughts and opinions about other projects and where the markets are going and what he feels. Who cares what the XRP community thinks? They have their own community. You are on the outside looking in. You are on the outside speaking in. And some of them appreciate it, some of them don't, but it doesn't matter. But don't discount everyone else that has supported you for the longest time and values your opinion on all things, just despite, a handful of trolls. Come on, man. That's silly. None of us would be on YouTube if we all kind of reacted to things that way. So Cardano is currently trading at 31 cents at the time of this writing, representing a change of negative 0.47%. Now, as ADA trades sideways, its co-founder, Charles Hoskinson, suggests having Solana as a sidechain, a separate blockchain connected to the main blockchain for Cardano. Hoskinson floated the idea during an Ask Me Anything session, on December 12th. Quote, so you could take Solana to replace its current consensus algorithm with something 25 times faster and does not collapse all the time. Make it a Cardano sidechain, the 35-year-old developer who was also behind Ethereum said. I want to change that. Solana would then be paid to ADA holders to maintain it, and they don't have to worry about security anymore. And then all those dApps move over and they get better reliability and security and they get faster. It sounds like a no-brainer. And I think ultimately what he's trying to say too, putting words in his mouth, sue me. No, I'm kidding, don't. But what I think he's also trying to say is, listen, Solana's taken a major dive. It was obviously artificially pumped by a whole network of fudders and articles and pay to win, media efforts and all sorts of stuff, which we've now seen is real. That's true. It's not conspiracy. It's not like, it's not anything other than what it is. And we've seen this now. We know this. But he's basically saying, Solana doesn't have to suffer. Solana doesn't have to try and rebuild itself on its own with obvious glaring issues, especially now with the price being so low. It's dropped dramatically, given everything that's happened. And he's saying, listen, why don't you guys make it more secure, make it better, help the people that are holding it, and then have another leg up. Let's work together. Why don't you just become a part of or an extension of Cardano? That way everybody wins. And I don't see that's a bad idea. There's a lot of NFTs. There's a lot of stuff that happens on Solana. But to me, the technology of it overall is very subpar. So it's kind of like, let's give the people that have grown to invest in or use Solana because of all of the efforts associated with its growth. And let's give everybody an outlet. Let's give them something that's usable. You don't have to worry about security anymore. It'll make it faster. Why don't we do that? So I'm sure they won't, but that's the tribalism of crypto. Hoskinson envisions multiple major blockchains connected to Cardano. In the more than 2-hour AMA video, Hoskinson said that his blockchain has been exploring the possibility of accommodating sidechains for over 6 years, where Cardano becomes the main chain and other networks can plug in. Nothing wrong with that. According to the entrepreneur, the arrangement will let the partner sidechains pay block rewards to stake pool operators and the ADA token holders, as Cardano takes care of the security elements of the whole ecosystem. And this is ultimately something that I've been looking forward to and have been waiting for a long time. Hopefully we'll start to see some of this with Midnight. I would love to start receiving more than just ADA tokens for running my node. I would love for the people that are staking to the CROW, the Crow node, can start generating passive rewards in addition to just the ADA. I would love to be able to do that without having to, you got to jump to this node, you got to jump to that node. I would like to just see, listen, you're staking or you're operating a node, you're just trickling in a multitude of different, potentially valuable, hopefully, tokens. Hoskinson has been pushing his ambitious plan for a while now. After Elon Musk acquired Twitter towards the end of October, he floated the idea of having Dogecoin as a sidechain to Cardano. In a tweet dated October 28, the American blockchain developer said, now that Twitter is in the hands of Elon Musk, I can see a real possibility that Doge will somehow merge with Cardano. He added that he would do the migration free and even add smart contracts. He's doing everything he can to try and just add to the use case and the community of Cardano. And I actually really appreciate that he's always out there. I appreciate the fact that he is, putting the Cardano name, putting himself as a conduit between one project and Cardano. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And sometimes, to do that effectively, you have to share your opinion. And some people, not everybody has to like it. Elsewhere, Bitcoin and altcoins are recovering. Not really. So this is all the rest of that's a bunch of hoopla. I just don't buy. Deep learning algorithm sets Cardano price for Christmas Day of 2022. In a nutshell, it's basically saying that based off of historical price action, Cardano could go up to 43 cents by Christmas. I have a hard time believing this. I think it's possible. Anything is possible in crypto, as we all know. I don't even remember, did we get a big pump last Christmas? Because I don't think we did. I haven't checked, but yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. Time's running short, and right now we're in a downtrend. So we'll see what happens. Cardano becoming a long-term investment after this edition, Crypto Market Review. Cardano's fundamental value continuously rising thanks to implementation of ADA staking in one of the biggest wallets of the industry. Yes, folks, Trust Wallet is now here. The market reaction to the Fed's 50 bip rate hike was expected, despite tuning down the rate hike pace. Inflation in the U.S. is still significantly above the regulator's target, and additional monetary policy tightening is needed, which heralds a few more months of depression on both cryptocurrency and TradeFi markets. What have I been saying for months now? Where have I been saying I can see the bottom coming? Yeah, probably by the end of it could be the end of January, end of February. A couple more months, we're going to see some more downside, and I think we're going to probably see a bottom within the next I don't know, let's just call it the next 60 to 80 days, something like that. I'm hoping. I could be wrong. I don't know 100%, and I'm not deeply committed to that, but that's what I'm looking to find out. That's what I'm expecting. Cardano staking enabled in Trust Wallet. Recently, one of the biggest and most popular wallets in the cryptocurrency industry, Trust, announced the enabling of ADA staking directly inside the application. So now, guys, you can go in, search for CROW, delegate your ADA right to my node, and you can do it in Trust Wallet. So there you go. And I did share this and retweeted it on Twitter. So yeah, and I changed my little bottom graphics here so you can see soblocks.com, murderofcrows.io, and the cryptocrow.io website. And I hate it when I do that. I wish that setting wasn't there. So when I switch scenes in my software, it just automatically plays that intro again. So it's a short video. It's almost 12 minutes in. Listen, here's the thing. I have had my own like kind of issues with Charles. And I'm not trying to call anybody out. I really, really respect Charles. And you know, I feel like his way. Back in the day, he and I used to chat, and we like, let's do a live, let's do this, let's do that. And he used to like read and comments. I can never get Charles to pay any attention anymore. I've asked him for advice on things. I've asked him for advice on blocks and different things, and he just flat out ignores me. And you know, maybe once a quarter he'll like send me, he'll say something, you know what I mean? And it's like it gets deeply frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. And I've actually sent him some messages, and then I've gone and deleted them before he saw them, because it gets frustrating. As somebody who supported Cardano for so many years at a time when nobody else was, and now look at everything, and I do feel partially responsible for a lot of that. I've had a lot of major YouTubers tell me, even BitBoy publicly said, you know, I wouldn't be in Cardano if it weren't for Crow, you know. And it's like all of the community building, help, and exposure, I feel like a lot of that has stemmed from me in a lot of ways. And, you know, sometimes I ask him for little bits of advice or what his thoughts are on things, and he reads it and then he goes away and never says anything. And I feel very slighted by that. And it does annoy the shit out of me. But, you know, to his credit, he's responsible for basically what I believe is going to be the biggest, best blockchain in crypto. He's got a lot on his plate. He's got a lot of pressure, I'm sure. He's always trying to figure out how to make things work and build new partnerships and relationships. And I'm just a small potato. I'm just some little YouTuber. I used to be bigger in the sense that I used to grind it out every day and get, you know, hundreds of thousands or a million views and videos and things. And, you know, those days are behind me apparently. And I'm focused on building applications. I'm focused on building things like blocks and my game. That's what I forgot to put on my thing is Wargroom. But you know, I get really frustrated, right? And it's like, I feel like I have a valid reason to some degree to be frustrated, but it doesn't mean I don't still love the guy. I mean, I feel like I know his personality. I believe he's a high D personality. I'm kind of a high D personality. High D is basically kind of a thing, you know, in sales and things, so that you can learn to understand how to better communicate with particular personality types. And high Ds are pretty much no bullshit. Like, let's get it done. Let's figure it out. Like, you know, we're you know, you've got A, B, C, D, whatever. And, you know, some people are just focused specifically on numbers, not emotion, no sales pitch. Just show me the numbers. They're more analytical, statistical. You have people that are more adventurous and they want the story and they want to know, you know, They want to know everything but the numbers, right? How does it make them feel? That kind of thing. Like, they're just all these different personality traits. And I think Cardano or Charles is a high D guy, and I'm a high D guy. So even though I get frustrated sometimes, I get it because he probably gets what I get. You know, he gets an abundance of messages constantly from people all over the world. And, you know, I'm just some YouTuber that, like, you know, likes Cardano. And so I understand that. I try to tell myself sometimes, listen, he's probably flooded, you know, he's a busy dude, you know, and I'm not trying to save the world with any of my things that I'm asking him. So of course he's going to take a look and be like, it's not that important. I'm going to move on. But, you know, I think that when it comes to this whole XRP thing, quite frankly, I think he's kind of going about that the wrong way. To take his ball and go home and basically say, hey, you know, I'm tired of all of the FUD. I'm tired of the community coming down on me or giving me shit about my opinions when I'm just trying to help your community, help my community, maybe, you know, figure out ways to just alleviate some of your fears and, you know, whatever, man. You know what I mean? I think it's all silly. And, you know, listen, I'm going to say this. When you're talking about Cardano and you're talking about its focus on interoperability, speed, throughput, you know, all of those things that I've been saying for years. And when he's constantly trying to build bridges with other communities of other projects, do you think that that's because he's trying to get wealthy off of it? Do you think that he's saying these things because it somehow directly benefits him? Where he's not already benefit. The guy's a freaking billionaire in his 30s. He doesn't give a shit. Okay. Like, this is not, it's like everybody takes these ideas that, you know, public figures, you know, all of us in YouTube, there are a lot, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people on YouTube that kind of abuse their position. They abuse their communities. And one of them wears really ugly shirts all the time. I won't say who. You guys have to figure that out yourself. But, you know, and people get bought into these guys, and it's like, it's not laughable, really. It's sad. And I do believe Charles absolutely means well. He's trying to build a legacy. And, you know, I think in some degree, he's ahead of his time in the sense that, like, I worry about legacy every day I'm alive now. I worry about my mission, my goals, what I can accomplish, whose lives I can change, what difference can I make in a world that, you know, I'm not an educated guy. I'm not college educated. I'm a self-taught dude who's basically just been reading since like my sophomore year in high school, learning everything as I go. You know, I mean, somebody who grew up poor. I'm just trying to do the best that I can with what I'm given, maybe the talents that I have, my aptitude as it is, whatever that may be. And I worry about that stuff. And I think Charles is trying to build bridges all over in multiple communities. I've seen him time and time again say, you know, we can work with Polygon, we can work with Solana, we can work with basically anything. There are ways that we can all work together and help each other. But then you like self-cannibalizing communities that are out there want to dump on and shit on anybody that says anything that maybe doesn't vibe your direction. And you're so loud and proud about, quite honestly, your ignorance, because you're trying to basically cut off the legs of a spider that's trying to grow. And in favor of mass adoption, community growth, involvement, all of these things that you're constantly out there craving, talking about, we want this, we need this, and then every time opportunities present themselves, you guys cut off your nose to spite your face, and I don't really understand that mentality. I guess in a way I do, because that's probably why so many are out there watching us on YouTube for guidance, because you really can't think that clearly for yourself. Because if you could, you would stop constantly trolling one another from community to community. I had problems with Solana because I knew that I didn't know. I had strong suspicions based off of what I was seeing that it was just being pumped in a shady way by shady people. Okay. And I've been saying that forever. here we are. That's not a form of tribalism. I don't really have any problem with Ethereum. I actually like Polygon and a lot of these other so-called competitors to Cardano. And I would love for Cardano and all of these other communities to be able to connect and work together in an inoperable fashion and strengthen each other's weaknesses and continue to grow in favor of mass adoption and building more, universal use cases across all blockchains. This is the growth of crypto. This is what we need. Stop shutting the shit down out of pure ignorance and tribalism, people. You have to stop cutting off your nose to spite your face. It is nonsensical. I love each and every one of you. I don't really care what tribe you're in. And I said what I said about Charles to basically try and explain to you, even though I might have my own little personal bitches, my own little whines about the way Charles may handle things, I still love what he's doing. I still love his project. I still love Cardano. And I still absolutely, excuse me, I'm not getting emotional. I almost choked on a piece of gum. I still absolutely respect him and his position and what work he's trying to accomplish for all of us. And you should too. And that's really all there is to it. It's Friday. Get out there. Take a break from all of this shit. I'm so tired of hearing about SBF and his curly hair running around, ripping everybody off and lying about this and lying about that, and the beef between Binance and Kevin O'Leary. I'm so tired of hearing all about it. I just want to go drink on a boat and just have some fun and just kick back, relax, enjoy my weekend in a very safe way. And then, maybe I'll do a video tomorrow. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll actually interview my wife and we'll do all the Q&A from all those Twitter questions you guys have been throwing at me. And we'll have some fun with that this weekend. And maybe it'll come out Saturday night or Sunday evening, probably Sunday evening. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Don't be a little punk. Just because I'm old and gray doesn't mean I don't have something to say. Till next time, crow your coins. I'll see you soon.